I'll make you famous. Do you think that's really what Billy the Kid said to people before he was going to kill them?
I'll make you famous.
I'll make you famous.
No, I don't think so.
Young Guns 2, Sequelibrium. Welcome, everybody. We're finally hitting Young Guns 2.
Woo.
I love this movie. I've always loved this movie. I've had this whole fascination with Billy the Kid because of Emilio Estevez's portrayal of him. The Robin Hood-esque, but never mind the fact that he's actually still a murderer on top of all that.
I didn't tell you this, but after watching the first, I realized I've never seen Young Guns.
You never saw the first one?
Never saw the first one.
Okay, so this is a perfect entrance into... Yeah. No, I'll wait till you come back. You get the crib notes. The fact that you've never seen the first one and then you've seen this one, the openings. The first one had them just all like, hey, silhouette of all the guys. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they just start pulling out their guns and they start shooting at whatever. Yeah. And then this one is just so somber and just like, it's got that like Mexican guitar playing in the background. The old guy riding on his horse. Right? Like, that just, Young Guns 2 is just such a better opening.
Yeah, the first one, they almost broke that fourth wall by all staring down the barrel of the camera at the beginning.
All the fucking cameras. Each one gets their own little 5-minute shot there. Like, Lou Diamond Phillips just staring intensely into the camera. What did you think of Dylan McDermott in it? In the first one, not this one because he's dead, obviously.
Good. I really liked the first one overall. I thought it was good.
I think the first one may have been a little bit more historically accurate. Not so much like I just listened to the last podcast on the left episode about Billy the Kid, so I was like, comparing the movie to the actual story and the actual events, and clearly things were dramatized for the movie. Like, reap the whirlwind, Murphy. Reap it. And then like shoots him in the head from like such a far distance. And that was that's a true thing. Not the way Murphy, Jack Palance died, but like the fact that Billy the Kid was like an actual great shot with a revolver.
I didn't expect Charlie Sheen to die.
Dick?
Halfway through.
That's the same way Dick died in real life, too, was being shot by that guy. And I was glad that he died that quickly. I fucking hated Charlie Sheen. We're the law, Barney! We're the law! We're not supposed to kill people taken in for warrants. And that was God, I always say that. That's the other thing. Billy's admiration for John Tunstall of wanting to get revenge for his death was great. I mean, that was true. The regulators didn't form until after Tunstall died, so they weren't like, regulators mount up, all that bullshit.
That was too bad because I love that character too.
Terrence Stamp or John Tunstall?
John Tunstall.
So he was like 24 years old, the real John Tunstall, when he got killed. So he was like, he took, that was a true story. He was a British guy, came to the West to make it in the farm, had a store, but took all of the young guys, Doc, Chavez, that little fucking kid from the second one, Tom or whatever. Okay. He was the original regulator. Henry French, Ferris's friend from Ferris Bueller, Cameron.
Right.
He was an original regulator, but the regulators didn't form until after John died, and that's the thing I loved about Emilio was like his Emilio, but the whole Billy the Kid, him about wanting to get revenge for John, and the whole like Santa Fe ring, man, look that shit up. That was all like real too. Like Murphy. It was all politics, and they just got basically it was organized crime out there. It was awesome, but yeah, fucking Dick dying. Yeah, I was like, they shot him. They shot Dick. They shot Dick. Charlie, I love Charlie was another original regulator too. The comedy in the first one was fucking when they were on peyote. What did you think of that scene? That shit was so awesome.
Yeah, it was. Kiefer Sutherland.
She's mine. She's my butterfly. Writing my poetry.
Mine.
And then fucking Dirty Steve. Did you guys see the size of that chicken? They fucking tripping, seeing fucking giant ass. Hey, dog, did you see the size of that chicken? And he shoots the fucking shotgun.
Yeah, I'm not taking peyote when everyone's got a gun. I can tell you that.
Right? Like, how did an accidental death didn't fucking happen? Billy takes his gun and he like fucking tries to like swirl it on his finger and like flings it up in the air.
I know, if you could take the amount of gun swirling in both movies and put it together, we'd probably have a whole nother movie.
It'd be a how-to video of how to swirl your gun like Doc Holliday or Holiday. Yeah, Doc Holliday. Yeah, that scene when they were going through the reservation. Hey, Chavez, how come they ain't killing us? Because we're in the spirit world, asshole. They can't see us.
Yeah.
And then Billy the Kid, hey, do you know we're in the spirit world? Lou Diamond Phillips was fucking great. Chavez was awesome.
Yeah.
All the way up into the second one, I think he was so fucking cool.
And intimidating, too, even on screen. So that's what's so off-putting about everyone kind of standing their ground against him and giving him all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
He's really,
you son of a bitch.
He's the most intimidating character on the screen.
Look how he throws those fucking knives.
Yeah.
I mean, when they were doing that opening scene and everyone's shooting, why wasn't Chavez just sitting there twirling around a knife? Because that's his fucking weapon of choice.
Yeah.
The fight scene with Arkansas Dave, Rudaba, when he fucking takes that knife and just stabs it right through his fucking arm.
Yeah.
So cool. And his death scene was so cool too, because, you know, when he said that the spirit horse will come for us all, and he walks off after he got shot from that scene when they were running from Garrett, and then the horse comes. I always liked that as a kid. Just the symbolism is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I love how they're able to just skip over, you know. How many stitches you think it would take to...
Oh, my God, dude. All the fucking bullet wounds, they all fucking
just wrap this shit up.
Right in the beginning, they're hiding in a ravine from bounty hunters. I'm about to get $100 for his trigger finger. Billy's hiding underneath this brush, and then as soon as they start to cut his finger, they start blazing. Garrett, Arkansas Dave, and Billy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one that got left behind gets up and shoots fucking Billy in the leg, like right through. Yeah. No big deal.
And he gets right back up.
And they start fucking kicking dust over the dead body. Let's not forget that this is like 1878, you know, where modern medicine does not exist.
I'm sure a bullet hurt just as much in 1878, though.
But doesn't heal as fast. He's walking around Dirty Pete's or whatever his name is. Cookie from City Slickers, which we should do City Slickers 2, the search for Curly's gold, after we go through that lineup that we've already accrued
next year.
Yeah, but he's got it. The only thing, just tight around it, you know, tight band around it to stop the bleeding. He's like, ugh. When he's fucking, what's that? Tommy from the orphan train from Pennsylvania, and he finally gets the courage to talk to Billy.
Right.
Prince of Piss. Prince of Pistoliers. Yeah. I'd love to have that fucking nickname, Prince of Piss.
You want to ride with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, you want a
Is
shot?
That what you want?
You want a shot in the leg like this?
Want a shot in the leg? Is that what you want?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When he gives him the gun, when he finally gets the gang together, finally gets new recruits, and he gives him the gun and fucking he holds it straight to his face. This is who you're bringing on the road with us? Yeah, so the movie is
14 and a half year old, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he was 14 and a half years old, yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland at the end of the movie when he says, you killed you got a 14-year-old boy killed, or a 15-year-old boy killed is what he said. I wish Emilio would have been like, actually, he was 14 and a half.
He was 14 and a half, like your daughter. 9 and a half. And then Tommy, this is something that I always thought was funny when I was a kid. Billy, is that old Mexico? No, it's Gary. Get down. So you mistaken the silhouette of this man to be old Mexico? Like, did you not see him standing there?
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that he gets shot. And it's sad that Doc died, too. Even though in real life, I think the real life Doc ended up leaving and getting married and having kids and all that shit. The way he ended it in the first one, when Kiefer Sutherland narrates that they got away and he was killed by Pat Garrett in Old Fort Sumner. But Kiefer Sutherland said he wouldn't do this movie if Doc doesn't die. Like, Doc has to die in it. That was his, like, stipulation. And I'm like, why? I mean, maybe he wanted that, like, blaze of glory
right.
to, you know, drop this song in there, which he did when they had them cornered in that little hut. And he's like, let's finish the game. Let's finish the game. Like, Emilio Estevez's, like, way to get everyone rallied up is nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. Like, hey guys, we're gonna go to the Mexican Blackbird, old trail to Old Mexico. Like, why would you lie? Because he wanted that last ride with everybody. He knew he was at his end. And I think Billy the Kid died when he was like 23, or so they say. I'm a believer that Brushy Bill Roberts is Billy the Kid. I think Billy lived until the 50s. I really do. And it's all thanks to this movie, this documentary.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably my favorite character.
Brushy Bill or Billy the Kid?
Yeah.
I mean, he was fantastic. I mean, he's the anti-hero. He's the guy who escapes prison. He's the one who says those one-liners.
There's a lot of forced laughs and smiles that, for whatever reason, work.
That's what I loved about them, is those forced laughs.
Yeah.
Woo! He's like,
Just all the stupid shit he does, like rolling backwards and shooting the chain.
Oh yeah. When he's trying to get Doc free, and he's like, I took an old buckshot to the wrist, and now ever since then my wrist has been whoa. Yeah. I love that part.
Doc's
that
just
so
like,
funny.
yeah, that was pretty good. Be like, what the fuck, motherfucker?
That's Annie Oakley can't do that shit. And that's the time when she was around. Yeah, I got a little few things that I thought were funny that I thought to bring it up to you was like, I'm a school teacher from the city of New York. Why would you want to ride with Billy the Kid? This guy's coming to rescue you. And Doc is trying to convince him, look, I'm no longer this guy. I'm a school teacher in New York. And Billy the Kid's in the lynching outfit, and he's just making fun of him. I'm a school teacher from the city of New York.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Billy, thanks for getting me killed. Pat Garrett was played by that dude from CSI. From the first CSI show.
Oh, really?
I don't remember what his name is. You address me as Common again. Like, that was the thing. Pat Garrett didn't ride with Billy the Kid in real life. Never did. They were acquaintances. But there was that, like, mutual respect there. And then this one, part 2, they made him be like his cowboy buddy, and that they rode together and they killed people. And then all of a sudden, he becomes sheriff, and all of that shit is forgotten about.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. And I don't believe that he killed him. I don't believe he shot him in the back. I don't believe he would have done that. And that's why I think that he's still alive.
Yeah. Well, he didn't, right? Wasn't that kind of...
I mean, that's what they suggested when, like, you could see the gun being pulled or shot in an angle, and then the pinata explodes and everyone like skedaddles out. And I love the idea. Well, I never stole a horse from someone I didn't like, and then you see an arm taking Pat Garrett's horse.
Yeah, because it's the narration that holds this. I mean, it's not a phenomenal movie.
No, not by any means.
But the narration bugs the shit out of me.
You don't like that part?
No. If they were to strip all the narration from the second movie, it would be a better movie, in my opinion.
It's a historical fact that I was born with small hands and small wrists.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Again, another true thing. Billy the Kid did have small wrists, and that's how he escaped captivity, like, numerous times. And the way they showed him when he pulled down that chimney and he shimmied up a chimney, I think he did it like 2 or 3 times to escape capture. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's just an amazing Old West tale. And this shit is like, that actually happened.
I guess just that
to a point
attempt of manipulating his own voice to make himself sound older in the narration.
Oh, yeah, alias Billy the Kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was Emilio, and I didn't know it as a kid either, too. I was like, I just thought it was somebody else. But We don't tolerate scum. That was the other thing that I always took with me into my adulthood is like whenever I go to like a predominantly white town, I just picture we don't tolerate scum. And then Billy's explanation of the scum. Politicians, clergymen, like he just goes off on all these things that we today would consider to be scum.
Yeah. Number of times in this movie where Billy's standing there and a bullet just narrowly misses his head.
Yeah.
And he just continues to stand there and bullshit.
Just writes it off. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. I'm Billy the
Dude,
Kid.
a bullet just whizzed by your head. Maybe duck around the corner real quick.
When Dick's talking to him, you better stop believing what they're saying about you in the papers. Sure thing, Dick. Oh man, he was just so fucking cool. Emilio looked a little too old for me, even though this was a 2-year gap.
You think?
Compared to the first one, Billy the Kid's supposed to be 19 when Tunstall died.
Yeah.
And he looked, I'd say 19 to 21, but this was like, I feel like he looked 30 in this one.
Yeah.
A little chubbier. My dad used to have this little .22 revolver. That didn't work anymore. He had it when he was a kid. I think something about the firing pin was messed up, so it didn't fire, you know. And I remember one time after we watched Young Guns, I like took it off these deer antler things that he had, and I put it on, and I pretended I was Billy the Kid. He was up in the attic, so this is the only time I could do it. You know, because if he saw me doing that, he'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing? That's a gun. It doesn't work, right?" I remember telling my grandma, too, after watching Young Guns, that I wish I could travel back in time. My grandma had horses, and so like sometimes I got to play cowboy, and I told her I'd take her back in time because I wanted to see Billy the Kid.
Nice.
Yeah. I just was attracted to the ultra violence.
Sure.
Young Guns, too, man. What else you got for me?
Oh, no. There were a few lines in the film I thought were great. Like, let's see. And I don't keep with hoes no more. So ain't we both content?
Oh, when he went to go see what was her name? Jane?
Yeah.
Jane I was going to say Jane Goodall.
Yeah.
No, we run a decent whorehouse here. They don't tolerate scum. Fucking Tommy. Yeah, there was like, I don't know, compared to the first one and the second one, I think the first one had more of a story. And I think the second one was just like, everyone loved Emilio as Billy the Kid, so we got to pump out a sequel. So, I mean, they completely fabricated all of this shit. But it made for a good story. You really couldn't end it on the first one, even though the first one had a perfect ending. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. I mean, this one helped bring out the brushy Bill Roberts, I think. I wouldn't have known about it if it weren't for Young Guns 2. I wouldn't have been listening to that podcast and been like, oh, I know what that, I know that. I remember going to the library to check out books about Billy the Kid, too. Huh. Yeah.
You were deep into it.
I never read them. I just checked them out. I don't know why I did. My aunt that used to take me to the library all the time, I told her I wanted to be Indiana Jones. I wanted to be an archaeologist, and she's like, well, it's more reading than adventure. And that's when I decided to change my idea of a profession. Yeah. I don't want to research. I want to go hunt shit. Yeah. But you got to know what you're hunting. Yeah, this one had like that funny, the first one had the funny music when they were like, oh, it's John Kinney, let's get out. And it's all like wailing guitars. And they're running through fucking thorns. And then this was just the music. Yeah. I don't know. There was just something about that made that so much better than the wailing guitars.
Yeah, agreed.
And the John Bon Jovi song. Do you remember the video for Blaze of Glory? This is like when John Bon Jovi was wearing his appropriating Native American attire.
No, I don't.
And he's standing on top of this rock. I think it looks like it's somewhere in Utah, like the Monument Rock or whatever, that really big one that you see in the background during Forrest Gump. And he's fucking playing an acoustic guitar so hard, going down in a blaze of glory. And like the video, this is back when videos for movies had cutscenes for the movie into the music video. And I'll never forget that scene when they're like running from Garrett at Batshit Town, and they're like running down the hill, and it's does that close up scene of them as they're fucking rolling. Like the camera's right in Lou Diamond Phillips' face. Atse, Atse. What the hell does that mean? It's an old Navajo word. It means stop. Like, is that horse trained in Navajo? Like, does it know that you're trying to say stop? If it's not working the first time, Chavez, why aren't you just go stop, and then see what happens? Yeah. And it's not going to fucking fly off the cliff. Jesus, their horses are crazier than they are. Did you catch Viggo Mortensen?
No.
He was the U.S. Marshal that was out with Garrett.
Okay.
The one that he yelled at, next time you address me as common. Sheriff, I think I'm going to have a moment. That guy. Yeah, that's Viggo Mortensen. To bring back to us talking about fucking History of Violence the other day. Yeah. Because that's a great movie. That should have gotten another movie too.
For sure.
But that one ended really fucking well.
Yeah, it's a nice standalone film.
Yeah. All right, what else did I write down that I thought was funny? I love how Mexican Indian kept following poor old Chavez in both movies. When fucking Dave's giving him shit and he goes, Mexican Indian, you son of a bitch. Yeah. So you just basically replaced Dirty Steve with Arkansas Dave Rudabaugh, who was also a real person too, who rode with Billy. Yep, I love Billy the Kid.
We're going to call you Buckshot George.
My name is Henry David French.
That's a good name,
That's a good name too. When Billy loses it all, when everyone fucking leaves Billy... Everyone leaves Billy. He just loses it. Like, it's so sad. And I felt so bad for him, too, because he had nobody after that. Yeah. Just, the people at Fort Sumner that was, like, protecting him. And that was, okay, so I watched it with subtitles, and I didn't know the name, but Pete Maxwell was the guy in real life who turned... So Garrett was married to Pete Maxwell's... wife or sister or something. He was an in-law, and he was like a spineless little fuck, and he told Garrett that Billy was at Fort Sumner, and that's how like he found him. Like Billy could have gotten away if he didn't go to Fort Sumner to like get some ass and some meat, because that he went off to go get food because that chick was going to make him food, and that's when Garrett found him in a dark room. That's why no one thinks he like there's no confirmation that he was killed. I mean, unless there was a body, but I don't want to believe it. Yeah. I want to think that he gave Billy the chance to get away, because he wasn't a bad guy. He killed Sheriff Brady because Brady's men killed Tunstall. Like, I mean, if you could kill someone for cheating at a game of cards and get away with it, all you got to do is be like, he cheated. I caught him, and then the sheriff's like, all right, no big deal. That's fair. All right, you're just gonna have to like spend the night in the clink or something. Yeah. So like, I think revenge should be justifiable just as much as like fucking hide an ace up your sleeve or something.
Kiefer Sutherland being the poet was kind of a running gag for me. Just the way he went about playing that role. Like in the first one, he was very aggressive with that
the China doll. Yeah. China. The way fucking Jack Palance yells at her, calls her China as she's leaving to go to Dockside. Like, I mean, but he did steal her because the laundromat ruined his shirt. So he's a fucking asshole. So of course he's gonna be like, I'm a poet. Like I'm a poet who steals other poets' work as my own. When they're reading,
I just want to hold you. Can I just hold you?
Oh, Charlie with the prostitute. Yeah. Well, that was his first lay. When he was telling her, she's like, "Yeah, I've seen so many guys, I don't remember." But he's like, "I just want to hold you. It all costs the same."
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're reading The Raven, and all the words were changed, and by Doc Scurlock, then Chavez repeats something he said to him. And he's like, hey, I never told you that, but I didn't write that. So this whole fucking time, he's just like plagiarizing all these great writers.
Yeah.
Fucking Charlie in the first one when they're at the New Year's Eve party. And he's like, I'm studying to be a doctor in July. When he's like trying to impress those chicks. No, John, you and I. Right, John? Charlie was great. He didn't go down like that in real life. You know, at the McSweeney house. Maniac! Yeah, he didn't go down like that. That was, more dramatizing, right? Is that the right word I'm looking for?
We'll
Embellishing the truth for movies. I never looked at that as a kid. I looked at like, well, it says it's based on a true story. Why would they change anything? My dad had me believing Texas Chainsaw 2 was a true story.
Really?
Yeah, there's a real family in Texas. It says right there, based on true story. It didn't tell me about Ed Gein because he probably didn't know about Ed Gein. But yeah, so I would always go on thinking that these were real because it said so.
Sure. Yeah, well, that's something that any movie can get away with. Oh, this is based off a real story.
I mean, inspired makes more sense than based. Based just seems like it's like these are. Why would you put these in your movie if this didn't happen? Oh, because it needs to be entertaining. Because if you played the real story, it'd be boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Be like Wyatt Earp versus Tombstone. Tombstone was way more entertaining. But then you go to the historically accurate Wyatt Earp 2 VHS tape movie, and you're like, this is boring as fuck.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. And there's like other Billy the Kid movies too. Like I think John Wayne did one. But yeah, there's like 50s, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
and I'll never
a lot of them.
I'll never watch them because they're not Emilio forcing a laugh.
Yeah.
Or like seeing his ass in both movies. Yeah, that was a treat. Thanks for that. His loyalties were all true. Like the whole pals thing. That was true. I don't think the I'll finish the game story he told Doc about, like, why is he doing this? And he's like, this is a story John Tunstall told us. And it's like Doc was with Tunstall longer than Billy. So why is Doc being like, I never heard him say that?
Yeah. The part where he starts whistling.
Oh, to that guy in the bar.
Yeah. It's funny that he didn't notice he was taking the bullets.
Right.
He was just standing.
So that's a true story too. That actually happened. But what Billy did was take one bullet out and then fix the chamber to be where the next one would be the empty slot, and then he fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Well, we call that 25. Sure, whatever you say, Billy. It's like right there, Billy. Read the fucking room. Everyone is sick of your fucking shit.
Yeah.
I love the part when he was in the first one when Doc was talking to Yan, and he's like, I can't stand him. And then Billy the Kid in the opposite scene's like, oh, Doc loves me. He'll be back. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of humor that went into the movie, which I thought was really fun. I mean, it kept that aspect too. Like, I mean, it kept it fun. It kept it lighthearted, even though they were going around killing people.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rate these very high
at all. No, they're entertaining. They're not high-rated movies. They're a 6 in my book. I wouldn't put them higher than a 6.
I'd probably put it about a 5 or a 6 on the first one. Maybe more like a 4. On the second.
I would say the first one would be like a 7, and the second one be like a 5 or a 6. Yeah, for sure. Like again, like I said, man, that story was so great. The even the mock picture that Billy took, like he trying to give it to him as a gift.
Right.
Hey, I've been doing what I'm not supposed to be doing, but take this picture of me as a gift, as a reminder of what a fucking crazy asshole I am.
Yeah.
So you said 5 or a 6. Let's see what fucking 1 stars say.
Okay.
I think I had those pulled up. What was your favorite character in it?
Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Outside of Billy the Kid, who'd you like also?
Probably Chavez.
I would say Chavez or Doc was always one of my favorites. One of those two. It's hard to pick because Chavez seemed like, I mean, Lou Diamond Phillips played Chavez, which he was also a real person. Pretty fucking great. Pretty fucking cool. Doc played Doc great too. Like, I mean, he was my idea of a cowboy. Even though he was educated. But yeah, for sure. For sure. There's only 1-star review. There's 1-star ratings, but only one person took the time to write why they feel it's a 1. Brat Pack Cowboys. It's pretty accurate, I think. Yeah. This movie can't even be classified as a Western. Emilio Estevez was not convincing. Then we were subjected to viewing his naked butts. Also one of my complaints, sir.
Yeah, an Emilio Estevez sex scene doesn't make you want to see anymore. It makes you hope he puts on his clothes.
No, he's hopping all over the place too. Like, are you having sex or are you just jumping on the bed together? Yeah. It's like, okay, you curl up like an egg. I'm going to try to break you.
Yeah, the sex scene itself was not convincing in the least.
The guy is just not a good actor. Then someone is always calling after him. Billy, not Billy. Oh, sorry, someone has a fucking accent. Then there's the part where Lou Diamond Phillips' character gets stabbed right through his forearm. Can you imagine the pain and bone breakage associated with such an injury? The severe nerves, tendons, the severed nerves, tendons, the inevitable infection? Nope, the knife was simply pulled out without so much as a wince. I mean, I think he winced. You see him, and he's like, he pulled back, and he even made that sound. Yeah. Then he's just fine in the next scene, as if nothing had happened. Nobody was convincing in this film. It just seemed like a bunch of short Hollywood types hamming it up. I mean, what do you want out of this fucking movie? Yeah. Like, were you not entertained one bit of it that you had to be like 1 star? Yeah. And also, there's a chance that blade could have missed everything. It's not like your forearm bone's a solid bone. Like, there's like a split in there. So the knife could have easily have gone through that, not touched bone. And yeah, okay, the muscles, the tendons, whatever. Okay, I'll give you that. But I mean, this is 1870 something. Wrap that shit in a dirty rag. You're fine. Look at Billy's leg. He's fine. He took a shot in the shoulder. He's fine. Yeah. That's none of my complaints about this movie. Why would you complain about that? That part was fucking cool.
Yeah, you can't.
It was so cool. So the part where I don't even know the actor's name, but it's the dad from Get Out. The one who wanted to vote for Obama a third time. Okay. Do you remember that guy? Yeah. You know that guy? He plays the reporter who talks to Brushy Bill. And Brushy Bill, he asked if he had any scars. Well, apparently Brushy Bill had almost the exact same scars that Billy the Kid would have had from his shots and stabbings and all that other shit. So it's like, not only does he have a fucking story, but he also has evidence to prove that he's Billy the Kid, or he was Billy the Kid. Yeah. Which again, I believe Brushy Bill Roberts was Billy the Kid. Huh. And some fucked up shit happened. Like, you know how Billy the Kid was just, all he wanted was pardons. You know, he just wanted to be a pardon from the Lincoln County War, from all these other shit. And he was promised those, and that was true too. And then the governor went back against it because it was in the movie, that was all true. So in like the 2000s, this governor of New Mexico was going to pardon Billy the Kid and then took it back. So the dude never got a fucking pardon. 2 governors offered it, took it back.
When did he die?
Well, Brushy Bill Roberts died like 50 something. Okay. Yeah, like mid 50s, I think. So he never, even if he really was Billy the Kid, he never got the opportunity to get pardoned for all that shit. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of a downside to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said that you wanted to do a quick one. This was a quick one.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, you got shit to do. That's all right. I could talk forever about Young Guns, the first one, but we won't. And the next one we're going to be doing is what?
Child's Play.
Child's
right?
Play 2.
Yeah.
Do you have to watch the first one, or do you think you're pretty good on that?
I don't have to, but I'm going to.
You're
As a matter
going
of
to?
fact, I'm going to watch the first 3.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. When Andy
sure.
goes into military school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's even going to give me a reason to buy a Blu-ray player again because I've got the whole set on Blu-ray.
Good. You should. You still have my copies of Grindhouse that you haven't watched
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. Somewhere around here.
That's right. I got your It's a Disaster somewhere around here, too. All right. Yeah. Child's Play 2. We're going to do Child's Play 2 next. Pretty stoked.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Until then.
Bye.
Bye. Go down in a blaze of glory.